Hey everyone, Jason here from Team Flovatar. Gonna get everything set up here in the next few minutes before we get started.
Hello, hello.
Hey Luca, how's it going?
Good. How is everyone?
Doing good. Wish I was doing better. I still got my
Uh,
cold going on, so that's why my voice sounds not very good right now.
well, no, it sounds like Barry White, like very deep.
Thank you. And we have Beer Tech here. Beer Tech, how are you doing?
Fine, thank you.
Awesome. Joining us
Hello.
away from
Hey,
Norway, right?
yep.
Awesome. So glad for you here with us today. And then Luca and Beer Tech, before we get started, feel free to correct me at any point during this AMA, just with the congestion and everything I've got going on with this cold.
Don't worry.
My thinking is not as quick as it normally is. So feel free to just
We'll do the talking. No, don't worry. You can take a rest for once.
correct you. Yeah, it looks like we got a good amount of people here joining us today. So, but yeah, big news, Luca. I don't know if you want to share about that awesome airdrop that you just did for our community.
Yeah, because it was a week or so that I was planning to do it, but never had time. And then finally, yeah, I just pulled the trigger and yeah, we airdropped a new rare flow bit for all the Flovatar that were holding that legendary flow bit. So we wanted to reward those people that bought this awesome legendary flow bit, and we wanted to give some utility to them as well. And every now and then, I think it's important to give something special to those people that yeah invested also the most. But yeah, we will have other more airdrops coming. Especially for about participation, so make sure you get as many floats as possible, and yeah, you won't regret it. And the other thing, the other big news is that we added also the 3D glasses as well to the builder. It's a new flow bit, so like we said, the plan is to keep adding new flow bits regularly, every week, every 2 weeks, or something like this, and these will be available with giveaways, participation. So yeah, make sure to stay on Discord, participate, and yeah, you will have many surprises.
Yep, very big surprise. I'm so excited for that. It's so many cool things coming. So yeah, definitely stay tuned for some of the upcoming things that we're going to be releasing. So let's go ahead and get started. So I want to kind of start off with a little bit of the format of the Twitter space here. So we're going to be doing about a 30-minute kind of interview here with BeerTech to share a little bit more about Find on Flow, his project, ask a few questions, and then we'll transition over into the AMA portion where anyone in the audience can come up and ask a question. So I'm going to talk a little bit about BeerTech, do a quick intro, and then BeerTech, we can jump into kind of your story and background a little bit. So BeerTech, the founder of Find on Flow. So it's find.xyz or XYZ, background in programming, informatics, now very involved as a developer on the Flow blockchain. Very, very intelligent guy. Every time I'm on office hours, Beer Tech, I hear you talking, and I'm like, man, you're definitely know what you're doing. So yeah, love it, and then love your blog too.
Yeah.
When I was looking at the blog today, one of these quotes stuck out to me. It says, "I have always had the passion to make tools to make it easier to work, easier to automate, and make things simpler."
Yeah.
So I love that devotion. Always give back and educate people, Beer Tech. So that's awesome. Well, welcome, Beer Tech, so much to this Twitter space here that we've got going on. So, any other things you want to fill in with?
Yeah, I just want to add to the the announcement of BRTech, that he's actually the one that helped me the most with the Cadence the development and the programming at the very beginning. And we wouldn't be all here with Flovatar if it wasn't for him, because he helped me so much, and especially the marketplace code actually. The most part of it, it's based on his code that he made originally for the Versus project. So you all should be very thankful to him, because yeah, he's a big part of the Flovatar project in many ways. So yeah, thank you, and welcome BRTech.
Thank you
Yeah,
so
thank you
much.
so much
Jack.
for the kind word, guys. Yeah, so it's funny because that quote you found, I made that before I started on Flow. So before I even started my crypto journey, I made that quote, and it was basically made. So before I did crypto, I almost did the same I do now, just in a totally different domain. So I worked for a big government IT business in Norway, where I live, so the tax administration of Norway, and I made tools and platforms just based on Kubernetes, not based on blockchain at all. And I was very fascinated by crypto for a while, but I didn't want to jump into it because I didn't like that it was brown and dirty, really. Um, but then Flow came along, and it was actually my wife who introduced me to Flow in the summer of 2020 because she knows Dapper Labs. So I got her into Top Shot when Top Shot launched, and then she paid me back by getting me into Flow in 2020 in the summer. So I started in the Open World Builders Bootcamp. That was a bootcamp that Dapper Labs had, that I think we were 20 teams that started off with. There were one or two technical guys on each team, and then one or two product guys on each team. And we would just task with finding out, creating a DApp, creating something. So my team, I was just looking for something to do. I like a challenge, really, to learn Cadence. And so I found two guys that wanted to make auctions. So we made versus auctions. And that was it, basically. So I just started, while doing that, I started making my developer tool. So that used to be called Go With The Flow. Now it's called Overflow. And it just, that's where it just kind of started, and then it is just taken off, I guess.
That's awesome. I love that. Yeah, I love the kind of journey stories, and like we all come from different. Like if you didn't have that journey, BeerTech, again, like Lucas said, our project wouldn't even be existing today. So
Yeah,
that's awesome.
yeah.
So the final flow. Can you tell the audience here a little bit of what that project is? Because I don't think not everyone might not they might not be familiar with it. So can you tell a little bit about what this dot find project
Sure.
is that you've got going
So
on?
so while I did Versus, there was many things that I found that this chain is lacking, because I was used to very good tooling, right? Kubernetes has excellent toolings in lots of areas around discovery, around finding things. And also, I knew from my wife that was on Ethereum, I know a lot of the good tooling they had there around ENS and things like that. And I was just thinking, well, there's not a name service on Flow yet, so why don't I make that? So that was where it started, really. So after Versus was done about a little bit over a year ago, I just
Mhm.
started on my own during my own free time. So when I didn't code Versus, I just started coding on Fine, and created a name service. And then I kind of thought, well, once you can find somebody easily using their name. So for those who don't know, a name service on in crypto is basically uh, an alias you can remember for your hex address. So Normally, your identity is an 18-digit hex address, but nobody remembers that. I don't even remember mine. I know it starts with 88, and I think it ends with 6F or something, but I don't remember, right? But I remember bjartek.find because that's me. So once you have that handle for finding a person, well, then I want to find that person's things. So that was why we made a collection browser where you can actually index all of your assets, or try to index all of your assets and display them. And that's actually another thing I love to do. I love to dig into code and understand things and figure out how it works. So a lot of the code in the collection browser is me just playing around with projects and figure out how they do work or not work, and reverse engineer
Mhm.
things. So some of the things in there are not pretty, but they work. But it's just, yeah.
That's awesome. Now, I saw on the website that you had a newer feature with the gifting names and sending flow or FUSD. Do you want to mention briefly a little bit about that,
Yeah,
Bjartek?
so that was something we made. So we had, during Christmas, we had this charity event. And for that, we needed a feature to be able to send funds to a charity with the message. So then we made that feature, and we made it so that you can basically send any of the FT types of support to another user, and you can send a
Awesome.
message to that. And we have actually expanded on that in Find version 2. So you should, in the future, we want to make charity donations as a service almost. So you can create your own charity, you can associate items with that in our market, more on that later, and then add a tag that you could use to donate and bookkeep those donations on, really. So that's, but that
That's
won't
all.
come now, but it will come a little bit later. We just have to
Yeah.
really gauge what the market wants, really, or what our audience want after we're done with version 2 that is approaching rapidly now. So
Yeah. I love it. Yeah. Thank you for that. So, I mean, you kind of mentioned it already with your wife getting you exposed to Dapper and the Flow blockchain. But why did you? Because it sounded like she was in, on Ethereum. Why did you decide to start developing on the Flow blockchain compared to like Ethereum or some of the other blockchains out there?
so I love programming languages, right? I think they're fun. I love experimenting with them. I love being expressive and having a nice coding environment. And I don't think Solidity is that. It's not for me, basically. Um, I just love Cadence way more. I think it hit a really good sweet spot between being a very pragmatic language, a very readable language, and at the same time, it is also built around being more secure than on Solidity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was also exactly my feeling. And also when I was starting to jump into Web3, I looked into Solidity and the other solutions. But yeah, Cadence definitely felt like thought for the smart contract for the blockchain, so that you don't shoot yourself in the foot so easily. And yeah, I'm totally agreeing with
So
BRK.
it's not perfect. It's still growing. I mean, it's still a new
Yeah,
language.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah. It's young.
but we will
Yeah.
get there. So it will get better and better. And I've also been heavily involved in the metadata standard on Flow. So we started a flip Flow
Yeah.
improvement proposal. So the metadata standard was actually the first one that was merged by outside contributors. So it's really quite simple in its nature, but it took a good while to agree on it. But now it has become
Hmm.
the way to interrupt between solutions on the chain so that you can describe your data in a way that others understand without having to know everything. So the keywords are not hard knowing things, but being able to discover things and find out things, right?
Yeah, and by the way, we will update the Flovatar smart contract soon to support that, and there will be also the mainnet sparking that will also require some updates. So yeah, there will be a downtime on 12th of June or 13. I can't remember. 13th of June, I think. But yeah, we will send an
I think it's
announcement.
the 15th because it's 1 week after the. It's 1 week after the 8th because on the 8th they will test. They will take down testnet. Yeah, so we have 1 week.
Yeah,
but I don't think we will have problems updating the code. It's not. Yeah, but the process is that so they will take down all the nodes and then they will start them up again, and then all of us developers have to update all of our code. They won't do it for us.
So yeah, there will be a lot of scrambling around.
So everything will be down that day, and you need to update all NFT contracts because all NFT contracts at least has one line of code you need to update. But I think it will be fine and dandy.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, move on to why you wanted to start the Find project, Beer Tech. So, and then also leading into that, why are naming projects on a blockchain like Find so important? Like, what do you see that as the value that they provide?
A name service, you mean? Yeah. No.
Yes,
So I mean,
sorry.
If you want to, I mean, people want to flex their NFTs. Come on, a lot of people do that. That's kind of why many people own them. And if you want to do that, so you want to, so can I look at your NFTs? Yes, you can. So go to this URL and then type in 0xabc12. I mean, nobody remembers that, but I can just say to people, go to find xyz/BRTech. So they can do that on their phone and look at my things, right? So that's kind of why I think it's one of the things why I think it's very, very useful to have.
Awesome. Yeah, I love that. Okay, so let's talk about getting people plugged into the Flow on Flow, like developing projects. So, what advice would you give to someone wanting to start like a new project on Flow, or kind of for selfish reasons too, if they wanted to get plugged into like helping Flovatar and potentially start building that project? What advice would you give to someone who wants to do that?
You start off with Emerald City Bootcamp. There's a new bootcamp starting in 4 days on the 6th of June. You start off signing up to that. So Jacob, not sure if you hear Jacob, but he and the other so I'm also part of the Emerald City DAO in the Educational Guild, just so you know. Although I'm not that much involved right now since I'm very busy with Find, but I hope I will be able to involve myself more later. But there's free bootcamp with video courses that Jacob has made, with tasks and submissions where you get reviews from BAM that's here, for instance, or Calcoin. No, yeah, Calcoin is also a grader, I believe, and Jacob, and I do something as well, and a lot of other people are there and are all helping out, grading you and steering you on your way to understanding cadence and how it works. And we will also have a more advanced bootcamp later on. See, there is Jacob.
Hey, yeah, we had him on the last AMA actually. It was 2 weeks ago. Yeah, we had an AMA with him.
Yeah, it was great. Hey, Jacob. Yeah, I love that. Well, one of the things that I think Jacob, Luca, BeerTech, I'm sure you guys would agree too, is one of the things I've noticed with a lot of Flow projects are that they're very open, and if you want to help get involved, they want to like work with you, to figure out some kind of way that you want to build. Like, I mean, Luca, I think you would definitely agree. We have quite a few people like Derp and the Crying Jordan dashboard. A lot of people in our
Yeah,
community.
Yeah,
yeah,
security flow, all the B, yeah, so many
yep,
people.
So
Shooks
it's
there.
usually just a matter of reaching out to the team and saying, "Hey, how can I get involved? What can I do?"
Yeah.
I mean, like Wild Turkey here does
Wild Turkey, Fad
Fud
News,
news.
awesome. I love it. I can't wait all the time to see
Yeah,
the
me
next
too.
release.
I
Yeah.
love it. Well, so Beer Tech, what are some of the most exciting things you see happening on Flow blockchain right now? And don't feel free to leave out any kind of confidential information, but what are some of the most exciting things that you're seeing happening right now?
yeah. So of course, I'm very excited for Fine version 2. I mean, it's one of the worst kept secrets ever. What's coming, but that's kind of on purpose as well. But we have been working on this for literally half a year or things like that. So just to put it in perspective, I quit my job in December, my day job. So I work on Fine now. It's my thing. It's the only thing I do. And along with Christian and the other people that ran Neo, and we have hired some guys. So Bam, who's here, he works for us now. And we have a web dev that's not so much known here, but his name is Alistair, who's also awesome. Um, so we have been working for half a year on Define 2, and the most important thing we've been working on is the marketplace. And it's really, I hope and I think it's going to be epic. But I'm really curious to figure out what you guys think once you get a chance to play around with it and give us feedback on it and being able to iterate on it. So
Yeah,
I can't wait. I'm so so pumped up, and yeah, and super thrilled to see it live soon.
yeah. And what
Any
any
specific date
yeah any
or
specific
not yet?
Beer Tech?
come again? Any date?
And,
No, I
yeah, any specific.
no, I don't like to overpromise dates. I've done that before. Uh,
Wise, very
not in this
wise.
job, but in other jobs, and I don't like that. I know it's just
Yeah,
people.
when it's ready,
Yeah,
that's
so
the answer.
to put it into perspective, during Flow Fest in November, uh, I suddenly got information that there was another name service being developed on Flow called Floans or Flow NS, and I could have chosen to rush, find, and deploy at the same time or even before them, but we chose to wait until the 13th of December until everything was ready to launch. And we're doing the same now. We have to be ready, right? It has to be really good. And we also have another person that works for Finance called Josh, and he's a UX designer, and his work is awesome. So he built the UX for the Find V1 site. The Find V2 site looks a hell of a lot better, especially the dark mode. So
Ooh, I love dark mode.
yes, you
Yeah,
have to have dark mode. It's dark and green,
Nice terminal
yeah,
style.
and flat. Yeah, not kind of terminal style, but you will see it when you see it. But it looks very good.
Yeah,
So
nice.
yeah.
that's all. Anything else in addition to the marketplace that V2 will have in the release?
Yes, we have one thing that we want to do. I'm not sure if it's going to be on release, but very, very soon after, and that is the ability to forge NFTs on Find. So
Mhm.
once you buy a Find name, you have a minter with your name, your identity. So that so then we have you can buy an add-on, and the reason you have to buy it is because we don't want people to spam out explicit pictures or just junk really that you do if it's free. but it's a one-time payment you have to pay to enable your name to then mint NFTs. And the main use case we want to cover at launch is really what we call the flow socks scenario. Because we talked to Nish and James at Floverse, and they said they spent a significant amount of time to minting flow socks on their platform. And we want that to be as simple as dragging in some images or specifying some IPFS hashes, giving some information, and clicking a button. It shouldn't be worse than that. And other solutions have kind of that already. We just want to package it up and put it together and put it close to our marketplace so that it's a first class citizen in that space kind of.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I think it's a great tool and things like that, and the float are helping so much people to get the first feeling with NFTs without having to buy or to spend so much money to just get the experience. And I think it's a great tool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I've got one more question here, but before we get into that, we're going to get close to the AMA portion. So anyone who wants to ask a question, feel free to go ahead and request access in the bottom left-hand corner. There should be a button to click to request to speak, and I'll get you added up here. If you don't feel comfortable speaking, you can head over to our Discord channel. In the general channel, just feel free to drop in a question, and I can also read off the questions from there. All right, final question here, and then I've got a thing to mention here that BeerTech was gracious enough to offer. So, but BeerTech, what are some things that you find might be able to do with Flovatar in the future? And Luca, feel free to jump in here too if you want to. I don't want to give too much away.
No.
Yeah. Well, go ahead.
No, I mean, Fine and Flowatar already integrate really well. I mean, we show Flowatar in Find. You can also, I didn't mention that, but Find also has the ability to set any NFT you own as your profile picture, and that is stored on chain. So it's basically it lives there, and that even works with the SVGs of Flowatar. And we didn't know before we made it. It just worked automatically. And that was awesome because so my troll that I have now on Twitter, my avatar, you can see here, he actually has ears that move, right? And I didn't know before I sat him and Find. I was just sitting there staring at it for ages, just looking at how awesome that was when his ears moved in our page. And on the other side, I mean, you can look up things using file names on Flowatar. You can see who owns them by their file name or other names if you have that. And so I think we're pretty good integrated already.
Yeah. Yeah, one thing I have to do on my end is to integrate Find on the transactions page, but now there is also Flovatar with Derp that is doing such an amazing job that I think he integrated in that page as well. And yeah, then definitely looking forward to see how the marketplace is gonna be, and we should definitely have some Flovatar in there as well to start opening up to other marketplaces. And yeah, we'll see more what the future will bring us.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you for that. Appreciate it. So we have a few questions that came in. It looks like we've got 4 questions so far. So 2 over in the general channel, and we've got 2 people, Jimbo and Runaway Rick, who've requested. But before I jump in there, so BeerTech has graciously agreed to do a surprise for you all. So here's the message that BeerTech has said for everyone here in the Twitter space. So for everyone who's going to claim the float here for this event, which share the secret passphrase here at the end, if you hold that float, you also have a registered find name on Find. So that's find.xyz, and is in their Discord. you will get a sneak peek on the market on testnet.
Yeah.
So a very, very exclusive opportunity for everyone
So,
here. Pure Tech, you want to add
yeah,
to
yeah.
that?
So what I said was, if you register a name during this event, so if you register a name now, it costs you $5. If you do that and you hold the float, we will add you to a special role that will get first sneak peek at the market on testnet during.
I like sneak peek. I want sneak peek. I have to go find a name to register. What could be?
Sneak peek. Sneak peek. That's fine.
Sneak peek. That's fine. It's a good one.
I love it. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into the questions here. So we've got Jimbo who requested to ask a question. Jimbo, I'm going to add you here as a speaker. All right, welcome, Jimbo. Feel free to ask your question when you're ready.
Oh man, they didn't give you the warning to never let me on the Spaces stage. No, just kidding.
Get ready with the mute button.
Yeah, definitely have your hand on that. Luca Biarte, I'm in insanely great surroundings here. I'm honored and humbled to be up here. Two of the most innovative names on Flow, genuinely. So I just kind of came up. I have a question, but I just got to give you your flowers first. Working with Biarte behind the scenes has just been so incredible. I just want to make sure everybody in the audience genuinely knows how hard these guys work in this space. They're too humble to brag for themselves, so that's my job up here, to let you know that these are two of the guys that give me inspiration and hope toward knowing that I don't care what the market's doing. Knowing that these two are working their butts off to make this space not only fun, engaging, efficient, but just amazing to be around. So I just want to give you guys your flowers. I know I've had a sneak peek behind the scenes of Biarte and the Dot Find team. My team, aside from partnering with them, has always been just amazed by like the innovation that Find is bringing, and to be able to hear some of this stuff live now in public, I'm just giddy. So thank you guys for what you do. There's a lot of fun coming. So the question I have, and I think, and I'm not sure if you touched on it just right before I got in, was what are, in your like opinion, what are the two, like one or two features of Find Two Marketplace that are just going to blow people's socks off? Like what are the couple features that no other marketplace has, or what sets you aside from all the other marketplaces, both on Flow and for Ethereum or Solana or anything like that?
Okay, so the first one is for the buyers. So let's say you have found something that you want to buy, right? This thing is really cool. You really want this Flovatar, but it's not for sale. What do? You have to try to find the person who owns it, asks in Discord, anything. You have to beg. You can create a swap though using a Mitch tool. You can do that. But in Find version 2 in the market, what you can do is just offer funds for that NFT straight up, if it supports it in the marketplace, of course. So that basically means that if you want something, you can add an offer. You're choosing your currency that is supported by that NFT and an amount, and the user will then get to know that and can then either choose to reject or fulfill that offer, or another user can then come in and overbid you, and then you get your funds back, and then you can have a fun war going on if you want to. So that is for the buyers. On the other side, for sellers or people that manage the marketplace, we have spent a considerable amount of time thinking about what do you do if you have a user that misbehaves, or even a project you're selling that is misbehaving. What do you do then? How can you stop this from affecting everybody? How can you stop it from just getting the entire marketplace to not work because some people have changed their contract or been a black hat and messed up? Well, in Find, we have built-in admin capabilities for the people that run the marketplace that allows you to blacklist a user that means that that user won't see anything. All his things will just be gone. Or you can blacklist an NFT project that says this project is not for sale anymore. You can't do anything more here. And we have spent considerable amount of time on testing this and making sure that it won't panic your site or steal your funds or anything like that. It will return it back to you if you have, for instance, started an auction. There's another thing you can do on the market. So I guess that's more than two, Jimbo. So.
And I just had an idea. I don't know if it could be a good one, but could be potentially a really bad one as well. For notifying about the offer. So I want to buy something, but then the problem is I place the offer, but how do I tell that person that there is an offer waiting for them? Because we don't have the email. So I was thinking, what if we create an NFT that says, I want to buy your NFT for this amount, and we send that NFT to the wallet, and then they get the notification because in Block the Wallet, you get the pop-up, and they're going to see that NFT, but then it's going to create a lot of spam NFT everywhere. So it's going to be a mess.
It's fun that you mention it, because notifications is the keyword for Find version 3.
Oh, I like it. That is version 3.
That is version 3. And we also have a launchpad planned. And yes, so there's lots to come. But notifications are definitely important. We are not sure on how to do it yet. One thing is to use a Discord bot. Another is to have an app on your phone, our own app that you can send notifications to. But what I can say is that we want to enable you to be able to choose what you think is important to get notified on, so you can avoid the spam. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So for instance, my wife, she sells NFTs on OpenSea, and there you can't set policies for notifications.
You keep receiving offers.
Very granularly. You have to set them for each thing. It's annoying. It's a lot of manual work. We don't want that. We want to be able to set policies. And we want you to be able to get your notifications the way you want them to. Right? If you want them on your desktop or in your browser or in your phone, you should be able to get that.
See, I was channeling my inner Claymore, asking one question and getting like 10 pieces of alpha. So shout out Claymore. No, that's awesome. I'm super excited, obviously, for Find V2 and beyond. I can't thank you guys enough, both of you, for working your butts off on that. I mean, just the collaboration effort, just like literally Luca going, I have an idea, and Bjarte, like, this happens all day. So I'm humbled to be a part of it and to be around with it. So thank you guys so much. I behaved myself, so just note that in your notes there, Bjarte.
Yes. Thank you.
All right, we've got Runaway Rick coming up here to ask a question. All right, Runaway Rick, welcome to the stage. Feel free to ask the question.
Thanks for having me. Hello. Hey, Luca, Eric, Garlic, Rumble, Jimbo, welcome back from vacation. Flow fam. Okay, so I have my .find, and I love that we're going to be promoting it that way we can see each other's NFTs, because like you said, people like to flex. But that's if to my understanding, we own the domain name as well, right?
Yes, you lease the name, so it's valid for a year, and then you can renew it after you've owned it for a year. And the reason for that is really, if people have a good name that they don't use, you want it to be reclaimed back to be able to be purchased by another person, really, after a while. So it's kind of like just garbage collection. But I can mention this, that there is a 90-day lock period where only you can buy back your domain. So if it expires, it won't work anymore, so you can't look it up anymore. But then you have 90 days to pay $5 more to own it for another year.
Okay, and right now, I think I purchased mine for 3 years.
Thank you.
what I think what I'm getting at is it possible for on the dot find platform to use the front half of the dot find to create a personalized web page so we can put all of our projects on there, kind of like an old MySpace or Facebook, just customizable, ran by dot find. It's a community thing, like how Flow likes to promote Flow. I don't know if that's possible.
It's not possible now. We have talked about it several times actually about that feature, if we should do that or not. I will never say no to things like this, but I won't overpromise either. So if you want it to happen, if I want it to happen, and Christian just messaged me and said yes, but not yet, so he's probably listening. So Christian is Christian.fine. He's obviously here in the listening into me ranting. So yes, but not yet.
Because I was sitting here listening, and I like the thought of being able to purchase the ability to mint, right? Is that way you limit the amount of people that can do it. So having purchasable add-on features to create your own web page, to customize it the way you want. If you enable tools to other developers to be able to have stuff on to customize your own page, I think that'd be a great melting pot. And to have it all on .find, that just builds your guys' brand even more.
Yeah, so what you can do now is you can add links to yourself, right? You can add your social links, and you can add a description, and you can technically also add friends, but we haven't exposed that in the UI yet, but we plan to. So again, I think we have 6 versions planned, but we're not sure how we're gonna shuffle it, right? What's important or not important. But what we have said before is that after V2 is gone, so after the marketplace is gone, we plan to have a public roadmap, right? To tell more about what we plan to do and listen to the community on how we want to shuffle that pile of work, right? Or the pile of features that we have. And your feature is definitely something that's very interesting to have these.
And I have one more feature that could be interesting. It's what about email? So it would be nice to have Luca at find XYZ.
So people have talked about what about using DNS? So have a
subdomain.
Subdomains. There are so many things we can do. I can also mention so on creating your own page, you can actually create your own albums as well of your NFTs. So you can set them together. So you can, for instance, I have an album. One of my favorite albums is called Spaceship Shiny. It consists of 5 astronauts, and all of them are Flovatars with a white astronaut body. So that's just something that I do. So
it's awesome.
So I think what René Rick said, having the ability to take different components of your blockchain life and create a web page out of that is very interesting and awesome, I think. So we just have to see, right?
I got one last question, and it's mainly because I'm mobile only. Like you said, we can add our socials to the .find. Is there an easier way, or is there a way to clean up being able to add your Twitter handle to it? Because when I type in @RunawayRick for my Twitter, it doesn't want to accept it. I had to go and copy and paste the long version of directly from Twitter in there, and then edit it down, and then the app or then the .find finally accepts it.
Yeah, feature request noted. We will look at that. So yeah.
Actually, I had one feature that was ready to go that integrates with the Twitter API. And it was working, but the fact that we use SVG and animated it in certain situation caused some issues with the PNG transformation. and I didn't implement it yet, but it's not that impossible, so that with one click, you authorize the application to change your profile picture, and it does it automatically without having to copy paste anything.
Awesome.
So maybe I'll share the code with Biartec, and
awesome.
We'll get it done.
Awesome. That sounds great. Well, thank you, Runaway. Appreciate your question. We've got another question here from one Rad Latina. I will add you up to ask a question here. Awesome. Welcome to the stage. Feel free to ask the question when you're ready.
To me?
Yes, I am.
Well,
welcome.
Hi, how's everyone doing? I just bought my name on .find, and I'm just looking around, and I know this is similar to having the .eth. I also have my .eth name, so I just have like a question about. I just changed the profile picture, but I don't see where the other gentleman was speaking about finding like where you can add your socials.
Okay.
I was just
So
wondering.
if you go to Find XYZ and you connect your wallet, so I'm just gonna do that while I talk, so I don't see anything wrong. So up on the left, up on the right, you have your avatar in the round corner, and then you have a drop-down menu. So if you click dashboard there, and on the left there you can click edit profile, and this will be a lot better in version 2 than it's now, and we will look at that Twitter feature. But on the bottom here you have links.
Oh, I see. I see it.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. Oh, and one more question. I own several NFTs on Flow because I'm a creator, so I'm constantly minting on Flow. But when I go to see what NFTs I'm holding, the only NFTs that I see are Flovatar, and some other NFT that I bought, but I don't see all the ones that I have. Is that something that's coming up later?
Yeah, so we try to add as many collections as we can. Some of them are easier, some of them are harder than others. Where do you mint?
Rarible, Disrupt Art.
Yeah, so Rarible is a problem.
I see.
We have let them know that is a problem, but they haven't responded. It's the same with the Alchemy API. You can't see a Rarible NFTs in the Alchemy API either. So they have also let them know, but I think they're just very overworked.
Have you guys spoken to the people at Disrupt Art? They're another platform that also mints Flow NFTs. Like that's all they mint. They just mint Flow NFTs. They also have collections. I think they're starting a new collection, the Badass Bears, but they have like one-of-one artists and music and stuff. They're actually, yeah. So I was just saying, like that's one of the places that I have most of my mints on. It's just something that's going to happen with time, correct? Like you'll eventually integrate these platforms little by little.
So the plan, and this is related to the metadata standard that I talked about earlier. So the plan is to have your minter, so Disrupt Art, change the way that the code work in the backend, so they work with the new standard, and when they do so, they will be auto discovered, and you will automatically see them. If you got me.
Say that difference, the biggest difference between this and the .eth ENS name, not only is the price but the ease of it. This was so easy to do.
Thank you.
Oh my God, thank you. No, thank you, because I am terrible at remembering anything that has to do with numbers. I've never known my wallet addresses, and that's one of the only reasons why I even got my .eth name. So this and the ability to send people Flow, because I do work with charities. That's what I want to do. So you were talking about that. So I'm actually thanking you and letting you know that I got the name, because I was waiting for this for the Flow and Blockdo chain. Like I was waiting for this. So thank you very much.
Thank you. And if you want to drop with us later when we create the forge, just send me a ping in our Discord or whatever, and we can help you with that. So you can, if you had anything you would like to see that you think is interesting that you don't see they have on Disrupt Art or on Rarible. So I'm not I'm not an artist in that sense, and I haven't done this before, so I'm really interested in your point of view on how it should work and how you think we can make minting as easy as you find fine was now, right?
Yeah, well, that's the thing about this blockchain. You know, I mint across all the blockchains because I want people to have access to all my work. So this is the easiest, fastest, most reliable, cheapest, well, because it's free to mint, basically. And if I wasn't living in New York City, which is like the hardest place for crypto on the planet, this would be just the most perfect thing ever. So as an artist, this was actually the easiest way for me to mint was through Flow. And now that I have this with my name, you don't know how much you saved me with trouble. Like, this is the best thing.
Thank you.
That's awesome. It's connecting people, and
I
that's
love.
the best thing and more rewarding, I think, for seeing people, being happy about the things that we develop and well, that BRTech develop, and yeah,
Absolutely.
awesome.
Yeah, and thank you, One Rad Latina, for all of the love you show on our social channels too. I definitely noticed that. So thank you.
Oh my God, yes. I'm a big Instagram person. So I usually move on there because it's like image based. But it's that I really actually love the Flovatars because as an artist, you know, I can make it myself and they're really cute. Like, they're really cute. That's really what I love about them. And the roadmap. And I'm learning about the dust as well.
Awesome. Thank you.
Nice.
Just really appreciate it. All right, we've got another question here. I know we're getting closer to time. So we've got Zelda here who wants to ask a question. Zelda, let me invite you up here as a speaker. Oh, looks like we lost.
While we wait, perhaps we can start giving the secret code.
Yep.
What do you think?
Yeah, go right ahead.
So, what was Birte? Was find on flow, right? All lowercase, all together. Find on flow.
And the link to claim the flow is in our announcement channel in our Discord. So the link's right in there for the announcement I did earlier about this AMA. It looks like we lost Zelda, but there are a few more questions here from the Discord channel. So Chickism asked Beertech, when Dapper NFTs on Find?
Oh, really interesting question. Really interesting. You know what? I actually coded yesterday because after Emerald ID launched Emerald ID on the Dapper wallet, you can actually connect together your Blockto wallet and your Dapper wallet through Emerald ID. So Emerald ID is it's a product that the Emerald City DAO does, and it's used in the Flowatar Discord, for instance, for verifying your roles on NFTs you have. If you set that up using both Blockto and Dapper, you actually know the link between them. So what we plan to do in version 2 is to have a collection tab, not only fetch your NFTs from your Blockto wallet, but also show all the NFTs that we know about in your Dapper wallet. So I have forgotten to mention that, but that's actually quite huge, and I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, and I think we'll have to talk a bit more because I'm also in the process of integrating both Blockto and Dapper, and as you know, it's not so easy to make them both work at the same time. So yeah.
No, so we plan to make the Blockto chain will be the admin. So the Blockto account will be the admin account that you use to admin all the things, because you can't buy a fine name.
Yeah, no, exactly.
You can't buy a fine name using a Dapper wallet. But what we actually could do, I thought about this now, is that we could actually offer a subdomain, a subdomain under your name that is your Dapper name, if you have that, because we can derive that. if we want to.
Mhm.
But we will see.
Interesting. That's very, very alpha information. Love that. That's awesome. Well, I don't see any other questions that we have in the Discord that I missed. So I'll do one final call here for any other questions. So if you do want to ask a question, just go ahead and in the left-hand bottom corner of the Twitter Space app here to request to speak, and then I'll get you at. Oh, it looks like we got Zelda back. Let me see if Zelda's here. Maybe.
I bet it's from desktop, and like I did the first time on my first Twitter space that I joined from desktop, I couldn't speak.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Question, make sure you're on the mobile app. Join in from the mobile app. Zelda, are you there?
There. Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We can
Yeah.
hear
well,
you.
about the find name, you talked about a sneak peek. I don't know, I didn't get that part. I don't know if you guys can rephrase. Hello?
Can you repeat
Hey,
the question? What
Yeah,
was the question about?
you talked about something about a sneak peek for those that have the dot find name. I don't know if you can rephrase that.
yeah. So what we said earlier was that if you buy a fine name now during the event for $5, if it's $5 characters or more, and you claim the float, then you will be able to. Then we will add you to our Discord group on the Find Discord, and we will share a sneak peek with the marketplace in that group.
So you get a sneak peek behind the scene.
All right. That's cool.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So
Okay.
I can say that we are 18 names away from 4,000 names on Find now.
Woo!
18 names
Yeah, we
left.
can do it.
There might
Everyone.
be a prize for number 4,000.
Wink, wink. Let's better go and get a name.
Yep, that's right.
Might be you.
Awesome. Well, it looks like we got Runaway Rick has another question. Let me invite them back up here. Don't know if we're experiencing some glitches, but it's just loading. Luca, can you repeat the password for the float while we're waiting?
Yes. Find on flow. All lowercase, no white spaces, all together. Find on flow.
Awesome. Well, it looks like I can't get Runaway Rick to get connected here. So any other final questions? If not, I am going to go ahead and bring the Twitter space here to a close. But did want to mention that we do have a quiz in our Discord that's going to happen. Luca, do you remember what prize we're offering for the quiz? I can't remember.
I think it was a small wheel spin or one of the new rare flow bits. I can't remember right now, but we'll let you know
Yeah,
on the
we'll
Discord channel. We
Discord.
have to ask the community rep.
Awesome. Sounds great. Well, BeerTech, thank you so much for taking time to be here with us. I'm just blown away by all the info you shared. So excited about just the future of, Find, Flovatar, and Flow in general. So thank you so much for being here with us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Awesome. Luca, any other final words?
No, yeah, super happy to finally have BeerTech in our AMA because I wanted to do it for a long time, and can't never stop thanking him enough for everything he's doing for the whole Flow ecosystem. Always. Thank you. Big thank you from everyone. And yeah, thanks for participating, for joining, and yeah, see you next time.
We'll catch you guys next time. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.